We have a red light. We are live, Miss Stacy. And welcome, Stacy. Welcome all the way from New York. Is that correct?
Yes, New York City.
Oh, lovely. And what kind of a day have you had today?
Today was actually really nice.
Excellent.
As far as like weather-wise, it was kind of like not too cold, a little windy, but it wasn't bad. And then I've just had like personal breakthroughs today too. So it's been an amazing day.
And that in itself, speaks for itself, doesn't it? Because we all have to face that at some point in time. Stacey, we're here to share the story, the word around personal development. So I look at it that anything is possible. So could you share a little succinct overview of how your life has unfolded in the way that personal development became part of your pathway, if that's the best way that I could put it? And just give us a bit of an overview of how your journey has, been coming through.
Absolutely. So first off, thank you so much for even interviewing me. It's an honor. It's a privilege. I'm very thankful and grateful that you even chose me. So personal development has been indirectly in the past very big in my life. I say indirectly because when I was 18, one of my first like major jobs was an administrative assistant at a direct marketing company. And the direct marketing company was all about sales. But of course, when you're in sales, personal development needs to go along with it because your mind could kind of take over everything and you're not able to make the sale, right? So the first thing that they taught me was PMA, which is positive mental attitude. Yeah. So they're all about acronyms, and I'm all about acronyms too. I can't think of the other acronyms that they have right now.
Well, you probably got better ones now.
Basically, yeah. But that was one of the things that always stuck in my head. You always have to have a PMA. You always have to have a positive mental attitude. So even after leaving the direct marketing company, I actually left at 23. I got pregnant and yeah, my son's father is from New York City. Yes. So I ended up moving to New York City 3 months pregnant. And I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss, but I was scared shitless.
Just be you, darling. I love it.
So scared out my mind. But I knew that, like, I was raised in Baltimore, Maryland, and I was born in the South, but I left the South. I left Louisiana when I was 10. So most of my, like 10 to 21, I was in Baltimore. But I always knew that I didn't want to raise my kids in Baltimore. Not only that, like I love my mother to death, to pieces, but she has a lot of inner demons that she likes to take out on people. So I was abused while I was in her home, even though I was her favorite and I was her youngest, but I was verbally and physically abused by her. So I knew I needed to get away. And it ended up being like my son was my scapegoat and I didn't even realize it. He's almost 10 now. So it's like everything is kind of going full circle for me now. That's why I say what I learned in the direct marketing company was indirect. Also, by the way, I watched The Secret. You heard of The Secret before, right? Where they talk about the law of attraction and everything like that, and vision boards. So ever since 2007, I've been doing vision boards as well. But there was always some sort of disconnect with it and like manifesting. And I just realized actually within the last year since I've been in Millionaire Mentoring, they have taught me how to kind of connect it all together, if that makes sense. You have to really dive deep into personal development that resonates with you. So what resonates with me nowadays is prayer, gospel music, the power of the word of God. And then of course, all the gurus, Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Gary Vee, those type of people motivate me as well. So those are the things that I have in my ear nowadays. That's kind of getting me going.
Excellent. So from a point of, you've been in personal development or around personal development, did you say since 20s age bracket?
2007, yeah. So I was about 18, I think, at that time.
Oh, you're still only 18 now, aren't you?
Oh, of course I am.
Gorgeous, darling. Love it, love it, love it. And look, I think, for me, if I could just, 10 years ago, no, 12 years ago, I had the experience of going through breast cancer. But somebody gave me the secret as a way of helping me to get through. And I watched that video over 50 times.
You said no tears. You said no tears.
So
oh,
from
that's
that
amazing.
perspective, the secret really had a big impact on me. But then I also had a fairly positive outlook, but I was carrying, in similar vein, what your mum had, and I had to let it all go. So I hear exactly where you're coming from. Big transformation for me, and it sounds like what you've experienced, for the past 10 years, the impact of what The Secret has actually had as a tipping point of change.
Absolutely.
A hipping point of change. Tipping point of change. So, Stacy, then, with everything that's happened in your life, what has been the biggest wake-up call that you have looked towards personal development as a way to improve your life? And what I'm specifically looking for here is the mindset towards personal development. Now, you've already said where you've been, so you've probably partially answered this question already. Can you give us just, a little bit more of a snippet?
I'm actually on a whole nother level than what I was on in 2007. I feel like The Secret kind of gave you like the some of the ingredients, but not the whole pie. Exactly. And I didn't know that. I thought that everything that The Secret said was all that I needed in order for my dreams to come true. Yep. No, no.
It's a bit blunt, wasn't it?
It's great. It's great tools. It's really great starter place. Yeah. But what really impacted my life the biggest was in 2016, I had to leave my abusive husband, and I was scared for my life and my son as well. My son at that time was 8 years old, and that's not his father. So when my husband was abusing me, I didn't want my son to grow up and think that was okay. Yep. So I had to get out of his household as soon as I possibly could, and which ended up leading me to a domestic violence shelter. When I got into this shelter, obviously, it's not like it's you're in a 5-star hotel. No. So it was hard, and I had to really, really tap into how did I even end up there. Yeah. And if with the journey of from 2016 to now, we're about to be in 2018. And not only that, in America, our president at the moment, I'll pray for him, but.
Oh, there's a but there, is there?
It's a but. But when the elections was going on, I told my son, I can't watch TV if I see him. Yes, and he ended up getting elected, so I don't watch TV anymore. Yeah. And that ended up making me take away the radio as well, take away newspapers, take away magazines. And that was one of the biggest things in my life that I could ever do, because I really started to tap into the Les Brown, the Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, and huge personal development. So now I feel like I'm in a completely different place. Oh, totally. In my personal development.
You're in a different zone, baby. A totally different zone. And when you look at the fact of the opportunity, and whilst we don't concentrate specifically around Darren Little's message and energy and everything, he has a great inspiration to inspire others in so many ways. And I think that in itself is a blessing to even have that pathway open up for you as well.
That's why I was crying earlier today, and I'm going to hold it back. I don't think I'll be where I am without him. I really don't, and I don't even know how to tell him. It's like I don't even know how to tell you this. I'm so grateful for this guy. I'm so grateful for the things that he has been teaching everybody. He has a true heart, genuine heart, and pours into us as much as he possibly can. I wouldn't be where I am right now if it wasn't for him. I'm not going to lie.
No, I agree with you. So, not necessarily drawing reference to Darren, because this is about the whole aspect of personal development. out of all of the top leaders, who would have inspired you the most during that part of the journey that really gave probably some big impact moments for you to say, okay, this is the right path? What one of those personal development leaders really stands out in your mind?
Well, so I've always loved Beyonce. Beyonce. That's just, I just have to always mention her. Because we basically grew up together, okay?
As in physically, personally?
No, I wish. In my head. She's my friend in my head. So,
I love it. That's brilliant. I love it.
So she went solo in 2003, and that's when I graduated high school, and I just always loved her music. It was always about the emotions of a woman. And I was like, whoa, I'm feeling these emotions, and she's singing about it. Whoa, I'm not the only one going through it. So she's always been around. And ironically, her last album, Lemonade, was about her husband cheating on her. And my husband was cheating on me, too. So that's when I left him, was when Lemonade came out. So she's first and foremost my...
Okay, and I get it, because music must inspire you. So that's what I'm picking up from you there.
Absolutely.
So, okay.
But the guru that really changed me was Oprah. Oprah,
wow.
Yeah. Oprah, I actually recommend this for everybody to watch on YouTube. It's her Essence Empowerment Stage Speech. She's in like a burgundy dress, and she basically tells her story on how she was able to get into The Color Purple. She wasn't famous whenever The Color Purple was like being casted.
I've seen that. That is a brilliant clip.
Freaking phenomenal. It's freaking phenomenal. I could watch it once a year, just like The Secret. Like, it's amazing.
Yes.
It's amazing. So that's what really, like, my son could probably repeat that whole audio verbatim because I'll listen into the car over and over and over and over again.
What an inspiration to him, though. Look at it from what
Absolutely.
the actual ripple effect is doing for him.
Yeah, I make sure not to hide any of the personal development that I'm doing. Like, even if he cries and whines about listening to it again, Oprah, I don't care. I don't care. And that was him in the background. So I'm trying to indirectly brainwash him, just to be honest.
How old did you say?
So he's 9 years old now.
Okay, you've got a little bit of time, but yeah, I get where you're coming from. It'll be in those teenage years that you'll really identify that, darling.
Yeah,
and Oprah, because of the actual message that you picked up from that Oprah story, what was it that actually really ignited you with Oprah?
It was more of her surrender, her surrendering.
Oh, bingo, yes.
It was whenever she said that she did anything she possibly could in order to make it into this movie, and it was so much of her story.
Yes.
And when she said that she finally just completely let it go, which I gotta show you a tattoo based off of that. When she completely let it go, that's when Spielberg called her, and she got the part, or she got a meeting to go see Spielberg.
Correct.
And she got the part, obviously. So in 2016, I actually tattooed this. I had to remind myself, like, you got to let it go. You have to forgive, and you have to move on. But first off, you have to let it go. So when she said she surrendered, I was like, oh, that's the key? Okay. But it's a journey. It's a journey to get there.
Yeah, and funny you should say that. I just had one of those kind of moments. But you know what? I at the moment I'm going through a challenge of my own personal state. But I'm getting a calling to go to the beach, and what I do there is I breathe it in when the wave is coming out, and I breathe it out when the wave is going.
I love that.
Right, and I'm getting this sensation because that to me will be my surrender.
Yeah, I actually gave myself to God September 19th of 2016 at the beach. At the beach. My friend, she's Trinidadian, so it's like she loves the islands. Her and her cousins, basically, whenever they're going through something hard, they'll go to the beach. They'll go into the water. They stand into the water, and they ask whatever they need to ask. So I surrender, whatever. They dip their head in the water. Then they walk back to their towel and they don't look back. And so that's what I did.
Exactly.
That's what I did in 2016.
Yeah, totally.
That's the beginning.
So when did you know and recognize that you were on path and you really felt that emotion that your life was going to change? When could you really feel the difference, that you felt that you could do more?
So I think not too long after I did leave my husband, I come from the beauty industry. When I first moved to New York, maybe 2 years into being here, I went to cosmetology school right next to the Empire State Building in Manhattan. I was like,
Oh,
I'm gonna be in Manhattan. Anyway, so I went to school, and my goal was always to open up a salon. So I was able to open up 2 salons. And when I left him, I was in my salon, and I isolated myself from a lot of people because I was really hurt inside. But I was still lonely. So this is when Facebook Lives first started to come out. So I would weekly do a Facebook Live from my salon because I wanted to release and also help others.
Yep.
And when I started helping others, and also when I gave like a huge testimony, I got a huge response from other people that I've never spoken to in my entire life. And when they said, I've been watching your journey, when they said, I watched your live, there's no way that you can give up. You have to keep going. You're an inspiration to a lot of people. I was like, what?
Yeah, I get that.
And so after that, it was kind of like, I mean, of course I'm moving for my family, but I don't want to give up because I don't want somebody else to give up.
Yep.
You know, I want them to see me and say, because she can make it, I can make it too.
Totally agree. And that in itself speaks tenfold. Good on you for, having that outlook to be able to just indirectly, you're inspiring others. So it's a beautiful.
I don't even realize it. Like I don't. Yeah. I'm not doing it to inspire. Like I didn't start it to inspire.
Yep.
But it ends up happening like that, and I'm
sometimes
grateful.
You don't even know who you've inspired. It's the ripple effect that comes back to you indirectly.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful way. So you've probably answered this question, but did you have any little coincidences, like little events that actually occurred that you felt your life really was in alignment on this journey? And I'll give an example. Maybe you went to an event and you saw somebody up on stage and you could say, that's where I want to go. And that was your inspiration to want to follow. Did you have any little events that occurred?
You literally hit it on the nail. Okay. You hit it up. That's exactly what happened. So I was still in the shelter, and I already gave myself to God, and I was like scrolling through social media, like maybe 2 a.m. or something, and a video resonated with me. Come to find out, a person was doing a conference in New York City. So I was just like, you know what? I have the money. I'm off. Let me just go. And I didn't know who these people were, but everything they were saying in the video was amazing. And their conference was called I Believe. So they tied in God with, manifesting your dreams.
Yep.
And Chanel Cooper Sykes, I actually was listening to her before I got on this call. She is a total inspiration to me. And she was on stage with her husband. And to see their love, because they're recently married, but they're like all like in their 40s, and I don't think they've ever been married before. So it's like, they waited until they found the right one. Then they're building this empire together. And I just thought it was so beautiful. And it made me realize, like, okay, that happened in your past, but you can move on and find somebody else and continue your journey. So seeing her on stage is what got me there.
And, that's the most inspiring thing about this whole journey, isn't it? That we see an aspiration that we know that we can aim for. And that in itself speaks tenfold to our own gumption, our own inner self that says, right now, we can do this. And, you're a perfect example of making it through what you've been through and able now to, take that next step forward. Love it, Stacey. You've done extremely well. So I will just ask, we're going to the final question, darling. What led you to create your business page, which I believe is called Fear Fighters? Quite a rugged kind of a title. So what actually inspired you to bring this all together? And can you share a little bit around that part of the journey?
Absolutely. So I guess the acronym that I did learn from that direct marketing company was FEAR. I learned that many years ago, and the acronym for FEAR is false evidence appearing real. So everything that you are scared of, it's false. It's not even real. Like it's only holding you back. So that's the reason why I created Fear Fighters, is because we're going to fight those fears that are false, that aren't even true in the first place. And yeah, it's basically my personal development group.
Brilliant. I love it. And how many followers would you have there, Stacey?
Not a lot.
You need to promote a little bit more. Come on, fella.
So
this is your time to shine, darling.
I mean, I'm building it. So there's two groups that I am gonna have. So I do have a fan page. I do have almost 5,000 friends on my Facebook page. But Fear Fighters is gonna be for the real empowerment kind of environment, where I want to inspire and motivate and just basically change people's states, so that, you know, whatever they're going through, they can tap into that Fear Fighters group and be like, you know what, I'm okay. But then I also have Success Secrets with Stacy Christine. That's going to be more of a business kind of, but anything that I do will have personal development in it. Anything.
And I agree with you. Everything that you do in life, you know, once you've found this pathway and you feel the empowerment from it, everything that you do is a personal development aspect of, you know, you yourself, your shadow, me, myself, my shadow, and I.
That's right.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant, darling. Look, it's been an absolute pleasure. If anybody wishes that's listening to get in contact with Stacey, please do so, as she said, via her two business pages, or PM Stacey. It's on Facebook. Is it Stacy Christine?
Stacy Christine on Facebook. My website is also stacychristine.com.
Perfect. Brilliant. I love it, love it, love it. Stacey, I will let you go because I know it's heading towards that part of the evening that you could sort of start to unwind. Would I be right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm starting my day on the other side of the world. So it's been an absolute pleasure to have this conversation, and I look forward to touching base with you, say, 6 months' time, and we'll just see how you've rock and rolled again.
I would love that. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Thank you, listeners.